Otis culture, fashion and craft. Hello everyone, you're welcome to Otis Culture. In today's tutorial, I will be showing us on how to make a turban cap with a non-stretchy fabric. I'll be using African print for today's tutorial. It is also known as Ankara fabric. I will also be lining the inside, and I will also be attaching an elastic at the back part of the cap. Before we continue, I want to say a very big thank you to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you all. And if you are yet to join the family, all you need to do is to click on the red button down below to subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Without further ado, let's move right to the tutorial. This is the body of the turban cap. The measurements that I have is my head circumference plus 1.5 inches by 14 inches. Why I added 1.5 inches is because the fabric is a non-stretchy fabric. You need ease allowance so that it can fit into the head properly. So it is required that we add some extra few inches. So I am adding 1.5 inches to mine. Whatever your head circumference is, just add 1.5 inches to it. Then the width is 14 inches. This is a satin fabric, and it is also a non-stretchy fabric. So I'm going to be using it to line the inside of the cap. The next thing to do is to fold the fabric into two. I am folding the fabric and the lining together. I'm folding them into two. Then I'm going to curve to have our normal turban shape. Just give it a curve like this. You should be used to this by now. Some people used to ask me that what measurement do I need to measure before drawing out the curve? About 3.5 inches is okay from this edge. Just measure 3.5 inches, which is here. Then from this 3.5 inches, draw a curve to meet the edge, and draw a curve to come to this other side as well. Then you cut it out. After cutting it out, this is how it will look like. I'll be attaching a band to the turban cap. So the measurement that I have is my head circumference plus 8 inches. I cut out the same measurement for the lining as well. My head circumference plus 8 inches by 2.5 inches. This is the positive side of the band. This is the positive side of the lining. I'm going to place the positive side of the lining on top of the fabric like this. Then I'm going to take to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew 1/2 inch straight down. I've sewn it. As you can see, I sew 1/2 inch straight down. The next thing to do is to open it up like this. You will give it a good press. Then you will flip the lining over to the back. Make sure that you iron it, but I'm just going to continue for the sake of the tutorial. But make sure that you iron your home. After ironing it, you flip the lining to the back. Then I'll take to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew a straight stitch down. I'm sewing half an inch straight down. I've sewn it, as you can see. This is the positive side and this is the negative side. So the next thing to do is to fold into two to get the midpoint. You put your finger at the middle to help you determine the midpoint. This is the midpoint of it. Remember that the measurement that we have is my head circumference plus 8 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from this midpoint. I'm going to measure 4 inches on the right. I'll draw a straight line. From this midpoint, I'm going to measure 4 inches on the left. In total, I have 8 inches. This is the 8 inches extra that I added to my head circumference for the band. So the next thing I'm going to do is to insert my elastic. I am using a 1-inch elastic by 4 inches in length. The measurement of my elastic is 1-inch elastic by 4 inches in length. So the next thing to do, I'll insert my elastic, I'll pin it. I hope this mark is visible enough. Let me use a white chalk. This is the midpoint. Then this is the first mark. This is the second mark. So I'm going to insert the elastic on it. Please, when you are inserting the elastic on it, make sure that you feel it, the edge of the elastic. Let it stop at 1/4 of an inch before the mark. As you are pulling the elastic, you pull it gently, you will feel it. Pull gently, you will feel it. It's somewhere here. You will continue to pull gently. As you can see, this is where the elastic is, and this is where the mark is. So the elastic is stopping 1/4 of an inch before the mark. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew a straight stitch back and forth about 3 to 4 times. I am sewing a straight stitch on the elastic back and forth 3 to 4 times. I've sewn on the elastic back and forth 3 to 4 times to secure it at one edge. So I'm going to continue with the elastic. I'm going to bring it out on this other side. I'll remove the pin. Then I will not just leave the elastic like that. No, I will gradually release the elastic till I get to the other mark at the left hand side. I'll gradually release it. gradually release it. This is the mark. I'll make sure that the elastic stop 1/4 of an inch before this mark. Then what I did on this side, I'm going to repeat the same thing at this other side as well. This is where the elastic is. You gradually release you will gradually release it. Good. As you can see, the elastic is somewhere here. It is stopping 1/4 of an inch before this other mark. So I'm going to take to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew a straight stitch back and forth 3 to 4 times, just exactly the way I did on this other side as well. This is the positive side of the satin fabric. It is facing the table. Then this is the negative side. Let me give it a mark. This is the negative side. Then this is the negative side of the Ankara fabric. Let me give it a mark. So negative side of the satin fabric is facing the negative side of the Ankara fabric, while the positive side is up, facing up. This is the positive side of the band. This is the negative side of the band. So I'm going to place the positive side facing the positive side of the body. Then I'm going to stretch so that the two edges will be equal. You sew and you pull it to be equal with the other edge. I'm going to sew and show us the next step to take. After attaching the band, the next thing to do, with my needle and thread, I'm going to sew loose stitches to form gathers round the edges. At this stage, the fabric is very thick. So the next thing to do, you will fold the two edges together. Then with my needle and thread, I'm going to sew it to lock the stitches together. I've sewn it, as you can see. So the next thing to do is to turn it to the positive side. This is the final outcome of today's tutorial. As you can see, you can also make your turban cap with an African print fabric as well. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. And also remember to click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Until I come your way next, please stay safe and remain blessed. Bye.